I hope you guys are doing well with all of the craziness, but we're going to talk about Herb versus Iowa State Board of Education. So this is a interesting case. Before I delve into it, I kind of want to go over what the premise of it was. So Herb was a fine arts teacher. He'd been teaching in Iowa for 9 years at a school, and a woman named Margaret was the economics teacher. And they, in the year of 1970, sorry, um, 1970, the school year of 1970, 1971, ended up having an affair. And Margaret's husband found out about the affair. And he went to a divorce lawyer and said that he should um, kind of get some evidence to prove in order for a divorce court. So he goes and he sneaks into the trunk of his wife's car, and um, she goes to school for a couple hours late at night, gets some work done, and then meets up with Herb at some undisclosed location. So he's got the evidence, took some pictures, goes back to the lawyer, and is like, all right, I've got it. And he's like, no, you need witnesses. So the husband of Margaret goes back and talks to his friends or whoever, gets a posse together, and is able to then take all of these pictures of the affair on a certain night and screams at Margaret, we're getting a divorce, and blah, blah, blah. So there's their side. So the husband goes to the school board and says, I want Herb moved to a different school. He never once contended he wasn't a good teacher. He never once contended that he should have his license revoked. He just wanted him to be to a different school. So that brings us to the issue. So let me see if I can go next. Okay, so here's our Supreme Court of Iowa. So the facts, Richard Herb, fine arts teacher for 9 years, caught having an affair with the economics teacher, Margaret Johnson, or tried to resign. That's an important part, but the local school board did not allow him to. He had been highly rated by both the principal and the superintendent. The school community liked him. After finding out about the affair, his wife, his students, and the community in general had forgiven him. He had good standing within the community. So things were going well. So this local or the state of Iowa chooses to revoke his teaching certificate. He also had tried to resign himself, but the school board wouldn't accept his resignation. So it goes to the state board, and in a vote from 5 to 4, they revoke his license. There was no fact finding. There was no conclusion of law. In addition, his lawyer was not allowed to cross-examine any witnesses. So a lot of interesting things happening on this one. So here's the issue. What allows a state board to revoke a teaching license, and does an affair constitute that revocation? So this had never been a legal matter, so new territory. So I love this quote. It says, the private conduct of a man who is also a teacher is a proper concern to those who employ him only to the extent it mars him as a teacher, who is also a man. Where his professional achievement is unaffected, where the school community is placed in jeopardy, his private acts are his own business and may not be the basis of discipline. So you can kind of see where this is going. So the holdings, you cannot base revocation on a personal moral view that is subjective. So some people think an affair is a bad thing, some people think that it's not. So you can't base it off of a moral subjective viewpoint. So a certificate can be revoked if there is evidence to support that the teacher's retention would adversely affect the school community. So that is the legal jargon that is really important. If we're revoking a teaching license, it's because it affects the school community in a negative way. So review, the husband actually never even asked for his Herb's teaching license to be revoked. He just wanted him to go to a different school. And the community still supported this teacher. They still liked him, and he still had good relationships with the students. So it doesn't seem like it applies to this particular case. So the revocation of Irv's teaching certificate did not hold up. So legal rationale, the board contended that adultery automatically makes an individual unfit to teach. The Supreme Court or the appeals court says, nope, not quite. And so that is there. Then also this section had just a quick moment on teacher contracts. Thought it was important just to review. A contract is between two or more competent persons. There's an offer and there's an acceptance. It needs to be written. It's specifically for teachers. It says these include, then the second is competence and making sure that you are aware of what's going on. And people who can't be competent are minors, insane persons, inebriated persons, I probably just ruined that word, and corporations. Considerations, it has to have a good. We get paid, so, or teachers get paid. So that's a good that is being offered, or it's a value or a promise of an act. And then legal subject matter, it must involve a legal subject matter such as being fit or unfit to teach and those types of things. And then proper form, and it says states require that teachers' contracts must be in writing. So in summary, you can't revoke a teacher a license for an adultery or a moral subjective standard. You can revoke it if it's going to inadvertently adversely affect the community, the school community in general, students, those types of things. So hope that helped.